Hello and welcome to another live edition of the Cyclone Insider Podcast. He's Randy Peterson. I'm Travis Hines, coming to you from McLean Stadium, where the first place Iowa State Cyclones claim a 30-18 victory over Baylor, and now is what is in a 5-team tie atop the Big 12, which could extend to a 6-team tie if Oklahoma State wins tonight against winless Cincinnati. Randy, a pretty far departure from when we had this exact same live stream in Athens, Ohio, a month and a half ago.
Oh my gosh. And when Rocco said it a couple weeks ago, I think, or maybe 3 weeks ago, I don't know when he said it. When Rocco said that butt kicking at Ohio was, it said he opened up the players' eyes. And by gosh, that wasn't cliche. It did. I mean, I haven't gone back. I'll probably do this sometime this weekend, but going over to look at the statistics since that game, Iowa State did everything. I think probably that everything's better. Everything's done better, and the offensive line has made so much improvement. Excuse me, I got something in my eye. But and this was what was it, 30-18, dude? It could have been 2 more touchdowns, whatever, 44-18. I didn't have my calculator, so it could have. I mean, because Rocco overthrew Higgins right over there. I'm just pointing at the sidelines now over there, and at about the 40-yard line, and he was wide open for a touchdown. He overthrew Daniel Jackson in the end zone for a touchdown. There's 14 points right there.
Jeremiah Cooper dropped a pick six.
And Jeremiah Cooper dropped a pick six, and I hope he's okay heading into next week. He got a little dinged up, Campbell said. But yeah, you're right. This was a as good an Iowa State performance as we've seen in a long time, yet there were some flaws. And that's how far this team has come. It didn't play a perfect game, yet it dominated. At least it looked like it dominated. I haven't looked at the stats yet, but a Baylor team playing at home, playing on homecoming. So hats off to Campbell and his assistants. And like Campbell said, I don't know whether we're giving enough credit to the weight program either. That's new this year. So this is going to be a fun month of November when we actually thought we may be looking ahead to basketball. This is going to be fun, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly they've come a long way, and I think this felt like a game where Iowa State probably should have won by 3 or 4 touchdowns, and they just had mistakes at critical times. Give Baylor some credit for responding. But I think it says a lot about Iowa State in a game where they left a lot on the board and made some blunders at big moments that they still won 30-18. And that again shows how far that they've come. And I think the biggest thing, look at the running game. Average 4.6 yards a carry. Eli Sanders goes 14 for 90. Cartavius Norton goes 10 for 58. Remember when that running game was non-existent? Remember when it was counterproductive? And they were able to really help things out. I thought this was Rocco Beck's maybe worst game since Iowa, probably Oklahoma. And he still went 19-31 for 238 and a touchdown and 1 pick. I mean, he was shakier than he's been the last few weeks, and he still found ways, the pass he throws to Ben Bramer over the middle that gets them down into field goal range after Baylor had really kind of captured the momentum of the game with back-to-back touchdowns. Was a huge play. And I think there are levels that teams reach. And Campbell talked about it after the game, that the next level they have to reach is go control the game for 4 quarters and, land the knockout punch that they didn't do. But I do think this is a level where you don't play your best football, where you kind of let a team linger, but you're still able to eventually slam the door shut. And I think this was a huge that Iowa State was able to do that today, and it's a huge win, not only because they're in first place by virtue of Kansas knocking off Oklahoma in Lawrence earlier today, but it's a huge win because they're going into November playing meaningful football, which Campbell has always said is their number one goal in a season, is get to November and make it count. But it also, by winning today, getting to 5 wins, the margin for error to get a bowl game, which was originally the threshold of what could feel like a really successful season for a young team, now that they're only 1 game away with 4 to play, is so much more manageable than needing to win half of these next games to get into a bowl game. Because, I mean, you really then, like, do you want to go into Texas and K-State needing to win 1 or both of those games? Oh. And that is not a great feeling if you're Iowa State, where now you have some margin of error against a good Kansas team, but you're still at home, and they're going to be coming off a big emotional win. A game at BYU that, again, you're going to be playing in the Mountain Time Zone, probably late at night. That's not going to be an easy game, but BYU hasn't been very good. All 4 of the Big 12 newcomers have struggled all season long. That feels like a very winnable game that, depending on what happens, in the next 14 days, Iowa State, I'm guessing, will be favored in. It's just, this was such a critical win to make the rest of the year matter more and be more manageable to get to that 6th win. They just turned off the lights on us in McLean Stadium. Usually they turn the lights on when they want you to go, from my experience.
Yeah, exactly.
But I guess here it's
that's your last call. That's what we know, at least. Speaking of, but
TikTok.
Yeah.
We got a 2-hour drive back to Dallas, Randy.
Yeah, I know. With Iowa State playing, who they're playing in the month of November now, those games are going to be close. We know that. And right now, the last couple of years, I wouldn't bet a plug nickel to Iowa State to win a close game, but or at least last year for sure. But you got to think Iowa State can maybe be favored if it's a close game, just because of Chase Contreras. I mean, I'm not certain we're giving him enough credit lately. I mean, yeah, okay, we just take him for granted anymore that he's going to make it, that he's going to do it. And today he kicked 3 field goals, 42, 45, and 25 yards. Plenty of room to spare on him. And Lord knows we saw it because we were sitting in an end zone, essentially. If I'm an Iowa State fan, I'd be excited about that too. That okay, you're in and out. You're now in a situation where you can win close games. And before today, I was asking myself who Iowa State's best running back is. I think we now know. I mean, I think we all kind of figured out that it was Eli, but I don't think we knew for sure. But today, I think we had that stamped. Yeah, okay. It could be different. Yeah.
I think Eli Sanders has established himself as certainly the most consistent of the running backs. I think that is inarguable.
Yeah, but I mean, they played 5 running backs today in the first half. And I asked Campbell about that, and he said he was unaware that all those guys got in the first half. And who was it? Cartavius said after the game that all 5 got in the first half against whoever they played last week or 2 weeks ago, the last game. So this Iowa State team, these kids are so young that I don't think they know that they're not supposed to be this good this year, this quick. But I think they are. And I think it's at a perfect time. Iowa State can do a lot of damage in its last month. A lot of damage I'm talking about now with Big 12 hopes for a team in the college football playoffs. They can do that. And I wouldn't bet against these guys in anything right now. I mean, these guys are playing at the top of their game. Now you just keep it there. Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the $1 million question as we enter November. Can Iowa State make the Big 12 championship game? Can they? I think the answer is sure. I mean, they win all their games they're in. Will they? I think that's a tougher task. I mean, those last 2 games against Texas, against K-State, who play each other next week, by the way, are going to be monsters. But I think we got to talk about it, right? Like, can they do it? Maybe.
Yeah.
Probably not, but maybe.
I agree. It's going to be fun. We've not gone through one of these for a while, but it's the overlap. We got basketball starting up in a week from a week from Monday.
Right.
So, yeah, we'll just see where all this shakes out. But next Saturday against Kansas, and I don't know what time that game's going to be yet. I'm presuming we'll know at some point tonight or tomorrow morning, or maybe you've already seen it already. I haven't, but
no, it wouldn't shock me if it was one of the more marquee games of the week, though.
Yeah, and
television placement.
We can keep our fingers crossed that it's one of the 11 o'clock marquee games. That's just for selfish purposes only. But anyhow, we got a 2-hour drive to make.
Iowa State 30, Baylor 18. Iowa State improves to 5-3 overall on the year, 4-1 in the Big 12. Currently in a 5-way tie for first place in the Big 12 that could extend to 6-way tie should Oklahoma State be able to take care of business against Cincinnati in a game that is going on right now as we speak. Iowa State, a world of possibility open to them now heading into November, starting next week with a huge game against Kansas, and certainly leagues away from where they were in Athens, Ohio after that loss to the Bobcats. Cyclones are playing meaningful games in November. We'll have plenty of coverage at DesMoinesregister.com, both from Waco and for the week ahead, as Randy mentioned, both for football and basketball, men's and women's, as those seasons get set underway. Check out DesMoinesregister.com. We're going to check out. He's Randy Peterson. I'm Travis Hines. This has been the Cyclone Insider live stream and podcast. Thank you for listening. We will talk to you